Thanks for joining us. Retro Tech, nice to see you. Spunk is with us. We're listening to part of the Apocalypse Now soundtrack. I think this is right before they're looking at Colonel Kurtz's fortress. And then Martin Sheen, Captain Willard, is captured, meets Marlon Brando, is sort of tortured by him. So let's start off with just a little bit from this book. The G-forces pressing down on the people of OpenAI are deforming the judgment of everyone else too, as such forces do. Naked power finds the ideology to cloak itself. No one thinks they're the bad guy. So we're going to just talk about OpenAI for a minute, then we're going to go hit Anthropic one more time, and then we're going to talk about what's happening in Argentina. So on Friday, November 17th, 2023, around noon Pacific time, Sam Altman, CEO of OpenAI, Silicon Valley Golden Boy, and avatar of the generative AI revolution, logged on to a Google Meet to see 4 or 5 of his board members staring at him. From his video square, board member Alaya Stuxkiver, OpenAI's chief scientist, was brief. Altman was being fired. The announcement would go out momentarily. Altman was in his luxury hotel room in Vegas to attend the first Formula One race in a generation, a star-studded affair with Rihanna and David Beckham, blah, blah, blah. For a moment, he was too stunned to speak. He looked away as he sought to regain his composure. As the conversation continued, he tried, in his characteristic way, to smooth things over. How can I help? The public announcement went up soon thereafter. Mr. Altman's departure follows a deliberative review process by the board, which concluded that he was not consistently candid in his communications with the board, hindering its ability to exercise its responsibilities. The board no longer has confidence in his ability to continue leading OpenAI, which begs the question, why is he the CEO of OpenAI now? Why is he back? I'm not sure that anybody understands that. Why is this guy that lied to the board allowed back? Who brought him back? Who forced him back as the face of OpenAI, even though in my business, if you're an investment business and you apply to I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, if you've committed any financial crimes, not financial crimes, if you've done wrong in finance, you're done. You can wreck your car or steal a case of oil from O'Reilly's Auto Mart or some other misdemeanor. But if you do, here's a guy who was directly fired by the board because he's a liar. And for some reason, he's back. Spooky. It is pretty good music, isn't it? For this kind of stuff. Now, if you go to the Drudge Report, you'll find this article. I think it's still up. Peter Thiel, founder of Palantir, it's now run by Alex Karp, is moving to Argentina and building a kind of lawless compound, much like has been talked about for Greenland and Honduras. To what degree are these kinds of compounds already part of the American experience? Things like the Epstein Ranch. See where I'm going with this? In other words, you're a billionaire and you go someplace that has like no money and you just buy up everything and you just can do whatever you want. Okay. Now, in the Technological Republic, which I spent a lot of time researching and doing content on here, the argument in every chapter is that AI and American technology should not have anything holding it back. Okay? I do want to get to the quote on this. In a similar vein, everybody's favorite Israeli asshole, Harari, this book is called Man God, in case you don't know your Latin. And all of these people want to create what I'm going to call today, for the first time, you've never heard it before, the FiendReich, the demon state, a state that has no even reference to anything human. Not courts, not precedents, not a constitution, not a royal lineage, nothing. It is nothing but technology. Even the term, the technological, you understand that this is what the Trump administration is. The Trump administration is not the Trump administration. It's not an 80-year-old guy on Adderall running the country. Okay. That's not how that works. He's a reality TV star. The directives are probably coming from Palantir. They're probably coming from AI. You know how they just, one after another, when he took office, there was this big thing, and he'd Donald Trump it, and he'd frequently read it like, you're like, what is this? He's not the president, people. It's not the Koch brothers. It's not Project 2025 or whatever that thing is from the Heritage Foundation. It's worse. What these people really want is the FiendReich, a kind of completely inhuman reign of power and violence that answers to no one. It isn't, just to be clear, it isn't Peter Thiel going to Argentina to try to take over and become the dictator of Argentina or something. It's not like Pinochet. Okay? They're trying to build something that I think you really have to stop. And this is why I'm doing this on Sunday. And this is part of this church and state thing. What would happen if you create a state that has this very elaborate conversation that there has to be a separation of church and state, and they reference things like the English Civil War, the French Revolution, or the 30 Years' War after the Reformation? A third of the population of Germany was killed by civil war. It was like a giant bleeding Kansas. That's why there's one of the reasons why there's so many Germans in North America. Well, what if you just went all the way with that? So people like Mark Levin and Ben Shapiro will tell you that the people of Israel don't have to obey the laws of other nations. They don't have to sign on to the Geneva Convention or the International Court of Justice. They have some sort of higher theological sanction to burn down olive groves and throw old Palestinian women out of their house, because the fucking rules don't apply to them. And that's Israel. Okay. Here, we're sort of battling with this thing, like we're in a war with Iran and the price of gas is going up. And, it's the same thing for 25 years. We've been doing the exact same thing in this country since 9/11. Completely illegal wars with no way out, nothing to do other than kill people, rake, and maybe steal some oil or something like that. Okay, this isn't what we're talking about. But what I am telling you is the end game for these people is the FiendReich. It is a completely demonic vision of the state, a kind of church and state thing, like combined even beyond the wacko-ness of Zionist ideology, that we're Jews and we can do whatever we want. Nothing applies to us. I mean, there's a quote from the head of the Defense Department in Israel. He just said in public, the funny part about this is you have to have a little bit of sense of humor. Is they say this in public. They're like, international law doesn't apply to Jews. That's what the Zionists say. Law doesn't apply to them. But what I'm here to tell you today is, and I did the thing in the last one about how the Zionists and the Nazis work together. We're in a whole other shithole now of ideas. And most people can't follow it. It's so philosophical, so inhuman. This is why I'm, creating new language for you to think about it. Okay? Hold tight there just for a minute. I want to get you the Harari quote. Because what they're doing is they're actually sort of like running out of places to operate. Like even Israel, Israel's a little touch and go right now, if you know what I mean. Like at any minute, you could have a Shaheed missile drop on your ass. So they're looking for other places to build their fantasy world where they don't have to obey the law or obey any sort of international customs or traditions or anything. So Harari explains that the tech and the manipulation of data, again, in a similar way to Zionism, but above Zionism. You see where I'm going with this? There's not even any reference to like there's a Jewish tradition and the Arabs kicked this out, which isn't true. The whole like Netanyahu propaganda thing. This is a whole nother level above this. This is, we need to take the tech and just let the tech do the tech. Nothing's holding this back. You can get a little bit like, this is like a supervillain, like a Lex Luthor, like I have this thing, or like Goldfinger, I'm gonna make all the gold in the world radioactive, so only my gold works. Yeah, this is how these people are. And again, these are the people running the US government. But they're headed to Argentina because either they see a civil war. Peter Thiel's appears to be in the process of moving to Argentina. And they're going to make this sort of state within a state. Now, Milei is there. He is Jewish, so we just have to. He's Milton Friedman. He's just a Milton Friedman guy who says, Milton Friedman's thing is like, don't come to me with your social bullshit. Like, the only thing that matters is the money, and the only thing that matters is greed. And this is how America's been run since Reagan. Okay. Clinton, Obama, they made the thing worse. Okay. They come in, they say, hope, change, or I feel your pain. And it just, the movement of neoliberalism just goes on and on and on until 73% of the population of America says, what the fuck? And they're going to get to watch some dirt bikes jump over the White House or some shit this July 4th. They have no control over their country. What I'm telling you is this is what they want. They want this FiendReich, this completely demonic vision of let's just let the technology, let's let the machine take over. It'll pass judgment. It'll make decisions about the economy, about the environment, about who lives and dies, diseases, vaccines, access to healthcare. their AI. Okay. This could be why Sam Altman gets fired by reasonable people who sit around a board and be like, did this guy fuck his sister? Because he acts like that, right? He has like no like human connection to other humans. Like everybody that worked there is like, this guy's completely allergic to the truth. Why did they bring him back? Then we have the good American AI, which I reviewed in the previous video, which creates an AI that's so powerful, it could literally embed itself in all the software and just start to rewrite all the software. In the Quran, this is called, it says at the end of the world, there will be a corruption let loose. That a genie out of the bottle, a Mickey Mouse thing, Sorcerer's Apprentice, Mirror Mirror on the Wall, Black Mirror, all these kinds of like grim fairy tale problems of when humans become evil, they become somehow non-human. This is what we're up against, people. This isn't left right. This isn't Nancy Pelosi versus Mitch McConnell. Harari is really the philosopher king of this. For some reason in liberal society, meaning when I say liberal, I mean like with a capital L, in Western society that's moved beyond all kinds of religion. Religion is like silly for silly people. We have the sort of the Atlantic consensus of how the world works, and we're going to control the resources because the other people are silly. They have religions, their women cover their hair and things. They're authoritarian, right? Anything that resists the Western world is authoritarian and has to be destroyed. Anything that gets in our way has to be destroyed. Do you remember in the movie Full Metal Jacket? And the some crazed officer standing there in the middle of like the carnage and fires and guns and bodies and shit. And he's like, inside every gook is an American trying to get out. And that really is pervasive in American society. You can watch Richard Haas on MSNBC or listen to Victoria Nuland or all these things, because deep, deep down inside, America's real religious worldview is that of the Puritans. Every other brown person on earth God is against them. Only white Jews and Christian Zionists are really operating on behalf of God. All of these people are some sort of weird pagan thing. Chef in Apocalypse Now, and he pulls in and says, look at this. It's what's he call it? It's pagan idolatry. Like all other religions are like subservient pagan idolatries. Sorry, I lost my prompt to get see if we'll just watch a minute of it and then we'll go back. This is really a good.
God damn it, you stepped in my face. I thought you were dead. You just thought wrong, damn it. Ah. God, go to the fuck movie. Sit down. Think it's so bad, huh, nigga? Don't be shooting that, soldier. Go. How the fuck you think I'm shooting at? No. I'm sorry, sir. There's a goof out there by the wire. but I think I killed them all. Oh, you ain't shot shit, man. Listen. Yeah, he's trying to call his friend, man. Son of a friend.
That's the only guy that survives, by the way, is the surfer is the only guy that survives. And he's stoned out of his mind the whole time.
Stupid. There's one steam live underneath their bottom. Who's the commanding officer here? Ain't you? You think he's so sad, huh? I'm gonna put your ass down, nigga! Fuck you now!
So there's another scene that follows it. Spoiler alert: guy comes out and shoots the guy who's screaming, who's on the wire, and he says, Captain Willard says to him, "Do you know who's in charge here?" He says, "Do you know who's in charge here?" And he goes, "Yeah." And turns and walks away. In other words, there's no authority. This is what these fucking people want to make. When Alex Karp says he wants to build a fucking kill chain, he's trying to recreate that scene with no humans in it. Just whoever the computer decides to kill is done. And you'll have no control over this whatsoever. And the thing that just gets me like to no end, because these things on Sunday is like some sort of church and state thing. And, you know, of course, there's another guy that does this. His name's Tucker Carlson. He's a little bit more popular than I am because he never fucking says anything. He's just perpetually, oh my God, what's going on? I don't know, Tucker. Are you a CIA agent? Well, I talked to them. I don't really know. Was your dad a CIA? Well, we're not really sure. I think he was. I'm not sure. Alex Jones, did you have any Well, yeah, they contacted my family, but nothing happened there. And we're like, there is a book called The Fourth Reich, which is basically that like we created this war and then we sweeped all the German technology and all the German scientists and so forth into the United States. We created NATO to keep, how's it go? Keep Germany down, keep Russia out, and keep America in. We're going beyond all this, people. We're going beyond everything 20th century. They want to make a completely demonic state with no reference to you, your children, the future, anything. And it's being created by people who speak English. Elizabeth Warren going to save us? So this, I've said this a couple of times. This could be the conclusion to a thought process of a thesis called Church and State, where you wake up one day and they've just decided to make a state that's just completely demonic, that has no reference to the people it controls, that's just sort of like a pure evil, like a pure entropy, and these people are well respected. Palantir is publicly traded and people on Wall Street talk about it. And it's just like I just read to you, like it's the banality of evil. Everybody's sort of in on Palantir and sort of likes Palantir. We got to burn some kids to keep the price of macaroni and cheese down. That's how it works. Yeah, but you don't even really see what comes next. They had to turn the lights off on Anthropic, and the Anthropic are the good guys. Who's going to turn the lights off on the bad guys? Trump? Fucking Jill Biden? Not Joe. He's over. Who? What's the plan? There isn't one. The only sort of reasonable outcome to this, which is inferred in the book of Revelation, is that the entire world will no longer do business with these people. In other words, they won't counterattack like with weapons and AI and bombs and jets and shit. that the English-speaking technologies, Anthropic, OpenAI, Palantir, and of course the Mag 7, will be rejected around the world. It appears that those things are being built in Europe, of all places, namely Switzerland and Germany. Now, this makes sense, doesn't it? Because of the horror of the World War II. Remember, 7 million Germans died after the armistice. Not from lack of antibiotics. No. Like soldiers dying in open air concentration camps. Morgenthau? Yeah, Morgenthau. I think the Secretary of Treasury wanted to exterminate all the Germans. Patton wouldn't play along. That's why they killed him. And then, of course, made those bizarre comments where he said we fought on the wrong side and why don't we go attack Russia and things like that. And they thought he was crazy. And, of course, he's like, well, what are we doing here? Why did we do this? What I'm telling you is you can put all the 20th century stuff behind. Popular English-speaking white people, some of them are Jews, some of them are not. It's not really the main point here. Are conceiving and deploying technological systems that are the most heinous, vicious, violent ideas that anybody has come up with in the last 1,000 years. And once they're installed, there'll be no way to, as the Quran says, get rid of the corruption. It got so bad last Friday that they had to turn the lights off on Anthropic. The good guys. I'll have some other political ideas on July 4th and thereafter, but for right now, look at what happened with DAO blockchain and these open source systems where the way that Team Human protects Team Human is to fraternize with other humans, is to work with other humans. Think about it, like the propensity for the human brain to say, like, I have the idea that is the idea that this is a supervillain. This is a Lex Luthor. That's who Alex Karp is. That's who Peter Thiel is. That's who bought J.D. Vance. Peter Thiel bought J.D. Vance, like Lex Luthor would buy the mayor. The whole Republican Party's in on it. The entire Republican Party is treasonous. Democrats are just sort of worthless. The shout out to my church. The Pope did create something called Magnificat Humanity, Magnificent Humanity. And then references the same books that Peter Thiel does with the Lord of the Rings. We're talking about a potential extermination event for the human race, and we're referencing Lord of the Rings. We have no like gothic sensibility anymore. The idea that like humanity can like go way off the tracks. This is the Apocalypse Now thing. It can go to the heart of darkness. And as Ms. Arendt explained to us, it's just the simple banality of us going along with it is what. It's not that we need some great counter movement. It's just that we've all become sort of, who cares? just as long as, I can buy chicken sandwiches. So this is maybe, not we're not making a counter ideology here or a big movement or anything like that. You're just like watching me and thinking deep thoughts together. And maybe you'll share this with some other people. Have a nice weekend.